Hi folks. So this week is the third week of Easter, and today we're looking at the story of the road to Emmaus. Do you remember this story? It's where Jesus meets up with two of his followers who don't recognize him as they're walking along the road. They know that Jesus has died, but they've only heard rumors that he's come back from the dead, been resurrected, and so they start talking to him. They don't recognize him, and he begins to talk to them about the scriptures and how the idea of the resurrection is kind of a fulfillment of those scriptures. Eventually they get to a place where they're going to stop for the night. He says, I'm going to keep on going, but they say, well, hey, why don't you come and join us for the evening? They break bread together, and at that point they recognize Jesus, but then he disappears from their eyes. I really love this story. I mean, part of it is I really like going for walks, so I can imagine myself going for a walk with Jesus. But also, you know what, there have been times in my life in different periods where sometimes I feel very close to Jesus, and he's really easy to recognize in my life. At other times I've felt like further away, and it's been harder for me to figure out, okay, where is Jesus present in my life? For me, it's interesting though, because in this story we see that whether we recognize that presence or not, Jesus is still there and present to us, and so it isn't dependent just on what we're doing. Christ will be with us even in those places where we're not exactly sure where Jesus might be. And you know, I think that that's really important for our young people and our kids in Sunday school as they're moving through different stages of faith, because as we go through different points in our life of faith, our understanding of how God is at work in our lives changes, and the way that we sense God's presence becomes different. But you know, there can be different ways that we begin to recognize Christ's presence. We see that kind of through the study of scriptures, they're walking along the road, and through an act of hospitality and welcoming, suddenly they recognize Jesus also in the presence of that breaking of bread, which is kind of like almost a recognition of communion. So there are lots of different ways that eventually we end up recognizing Jesus, but it's okay when we have those periods where maybe we don't recognize him right away. So I hope that that's a helpful introduction for you folks as we get ready for this coming Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you soon, and God bless.